Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna be working with this cute image from Polka Doodles, and I thought about making a mixed media background for this, so we're gonna go ahead and make that together. I'm gonna be using the alcohol ink cardstock from Ranger because I am going to be using alcohol inks. So if it is your first time, make sure that the shiny is the side that you're gonna add your alcohol inks to. And these alcohol inks I just get from Amazon. And I'm gonna use different types of green that I like, some yellow and maybe some orange. I am not sure yet if I'm gonna use the orange or not. And I am also going to be using the white just as like little speckles here and there. I'm also going to be using some rubbing alcohol that I have in a spray bottle that you previously saw. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is spray my cardstock with some rubbing alcohol. This one that I'm using, I don't think it matters much, but it's 70%. And then I'm just gonna drop some alcohol ink here and there wherever I see that it's gonna look good. I have no rhyme or reason for putting the drops in here. I am using the colors kiwi, avocado and lime for these, and I will leave a link in the description box below for this set. It comes with like 30 or so alcohol inks and they are really good. Here I am dropping some I think this one is the lime green or the avocado, I think, and then the brightest one is the lime one, which I really love this green. And again, there's no rhyme or reason here how I'm dropping this alcohol ink, just randomly dropping the ink. And here I decided to go for the orange. I wanted to also use some vintage ink, distress ink, and I think with the orange it's gonna look really well and not so summery or springy. I didn't want to go for that. I wanted to give it more maybe a vintagey look to it. And just continue adding your alcohol ink until you get a background that you like. I then add some more alcohol, sprayed some alcohol to these, and I had 2 boo-boos in this video because I ran out of battery, or my camera ran out of battery, and I had to skip a big part of the video, but it's really easy for me to explain to you what I did, so we will roll with this. And here I'm just trying my cardstock to speed up the process. I then spray my cardstock with the alcohol and added some of the white alcohol ink to it. I also wanted to add some texture to my background, so I'm using this stencil I bought from Amazon. I will leave a link below. It is a set of like 10 stencils that you can get for really cheap. But before I do that, I am going to add some masking tape to my cardstock so it doesn't move around, and I'm going to be doing the same to the stencil. I am going to be using this modeling paste, and you also need a spatula. You can also use like an old credit card or something like that to do this step. I'm just adding my modeling paste now on top of my stencil. I didn't want to cover the whole thing. I just wanted to add some texture here and there. Now let's remove the stencil and see how this turned out. I am going to be using my hair dryer again on top of the modeling paste because I want to speed up the process of drying. Then I decided that I don't want this to be white. As I told you in the beginning, I want it to be a little bit more vintagey looking. So I am using Vintage Photo Distress ink to color here, or distress, I guess, the modeling paste. I am making sure that I apply more pressure and more ink to certain spots just to add some dimension, and not for all to be so cohesive and everything the same color, but more of a different look. And here, my friends, it's where I made my first mistake. I had colored this image to make something different, but I decided that I wanted to do a distress background, like inks and all that. So I am just gonna cut around him. Even though I colored the background, it's okay. And here I am using an X-Acto knife to cut the negative spaces of the image. I like it better when I cut this out than when I not. You don't have to do it. Just make sure that if you are using an X-Acto knife, that you are very, very careful, especially if you have a really sharp blade. And right about here is when my camera turned off and I didn't even notice, but here's my finished card. And it was really easy. After we created that background, I used a card base of 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I inked the sides with the same Vintage Photo Distress ink. And the top paper that we created together, I cut it 5/3 by 4 1/8. The sentiment comes with the stamp, and what I did was just to cut around that circle, and with a 2-inch circle I cut a white piece of cardstock and inking on the sides again with Vintage Photo. I then added some dimensionals to the back of the little boy and the sentiment to glue it down, as I knew the glue, it wasn't gonna do the trick with the texture background. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe and that you give this video a thumbs up, and that you go by the Polka Doodles blog to enter the challenge. Thanks for watching. Happy crafting!